Welcome to our Meet the Speakers series for Illuminate and Elevate 2026 in September in London on Friday the 11th. So my guest for this conversation is Loukia Papa, which I hope I pronounced that correctly, who lives in Greece and is coming along to share her well, no, she'll tell you what she's going to be sharing. It's pretty exciting. So, thank you for joining me, Lucia. And would you like to share a little bit of your background and your journey as to how you got to where you are and what you're doing? Because, like a lot of us, you started in a different place and moving into different areas. So, if you'd like to share some of that, please.
First of all, thank you so much, Dawn. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today. And thank you so much for including me in the roster for the Illuminate and Elevate conference. It's just an honor and a pleasure to be there with you. Yes, I'm Loukia. I come from Greece. My path has been an interesting one. As you said, most of us have amazing stories to share. And I have found always that even looking at our personal stories is the inspiration itself. And it's a teaching on its own merit about the evolution of consciousness and about the power that we have to change our own individual reality and our collective one. So I have been a lawyer for over 20 years. And as I like to say, I have been very much into the system. So I have been head legal in Greece, in ministries. I have been leading legislative pieces, especially in the sports industries, but also in financial departments. I have been leading the industrial property organization for many years. I had my own law firm, worked in different law firms. I was leading Adidas legal department in South Europe for 12 years. So a lot of legal, let's say, involvement, but also strategic consultancy, member of boards in different corporations. So I would say that I was really deeply into the system. And for quite a few years, this seemed to work in my personal life. And I was buying at the dream that society had sold us, that it's all about money and success and financial achievement and power and influence. And until I arrived at this point that I had it all, what, let's say, the superficial external spectator would characterize it all. And I went through a very deep, let's say, dark phase of the moon. I went through my personal depression phase, where I was just wondering, wow, now that I seem to have it all on a checklist and on the paper, why does my soul feel that it's emptier than ever, right? And I couldn't find this answer wherever I was looking for. I was very, very lucky back then that Adidas was really investing hundreds of thousands of euros in educating and self-developing, let's say, its leading management team. So I received a lot of coaching and mentoring and psychological support and stuff. But at the same time, I was realizing that all these modules were actually attempting to increase my performance and keep me into the rabbit hole rather than lead me to actual liberation, sovereignty, and freedom, which is what all of our souls in deep down actually look for, right? And then in some magical ways, I have to say, unexpected, not approached by the limited mind and the rational mind. A teacher came in my life, a healer and a teacher. And it was as if I was suddenly having access to a movie, you know, how we are watching those movies with Kill Bill, for example. You see Uma Thurman go up on a mountain and suddenly there is this kind of old guy who is, elevating himself and he's floating and he's appearing simultaneously in different locations. I came across, let's say, a reality like that. And so different portals of reality opened for me. And this is how my studentship started 11 years now. So that I started healing myself, let's say, approaching different modalities for healing body, mind, and soul, studying philosophy, ancient Greek, Tibetan, Kemetic, ancient Egyptian, traveling around the world. And after all these years, I came back, and it was very clear to me that my mission is not to sit back and simply meditate and be a spiritual person, as we call it. But true spirituality for me is going back into society, into what we call reality, and being a positive change and inspiring other people to do the same and harness their own highest potential. So I studied neuroscience, I studied quantum physics, and now I am leading C-suite entrepreneurs, executives, leadership teams into the next era of entrepreneurship. Yeah, I have a company. I organize retreats all around the world. I lead Panharmonia, a musical ensemble with healing music, let's say, texts. I play the gong. I represent one of the biggest gong fleets in the world. So this is what I do today. And some of those modalities I'm more than inspired to bring with me in London to share with all of you.
That's wonderful. As you say, the path we're on isn't always the path we stay on. You know, there's a saying, the teacher arrives when the student is ready.
Exactly.
Mm.
I had tried to arrive before, but I definitely wasn't ready. I was so much into the system and the illusion of the external world and what happiness means that I wasn't really ready. The door was opening, I was shutting it down. Yeah, it
Well,
took a lot of
eventually,
fighting.
yes, eventually, you know, we do see the open door and oh, right, okay, and move into that other direction. So yeah, that's exciting. And you have insights into the problems with the legal system, shall we say, which obviously is not something we are going to get into, but seeing from the inside, so a lot of people who've trained up within these systems are able to see it from the inside and explain to those of us who don't know the details of the problem. So, you know, so many of us can see from the outside, but when you're in the inside, you can, you know, we say, oh, right, you've seen it from the inside, you know the problems. And so that's helpful to, you know, share with the rest of us. So your presentation for September, we were talking about it just before I started recording. You have a few ideas of what you're going to bring, and including you said you're going to bring one of your gongs, which is really exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited to bring my Huron gong with me. Huron is the wounded healer, as per ancient Greek mythology. So it's an amazing gong that the frequency it resonates and vibrates at is very healing for our conscious, but also unconscious mind. And of course, all of our bodies and existence overall. I will be bringing my gong. I will be harnessing the frequencies of some of the ancient Orphic hymns, which are considered to be the most ancient texts found in humanity. And whoever has access to them by reading them or listening to them, being exposed to them in any ways, is facilitating entering altered states of consciousness. So these are some very powerful tools. And I will be speaking a lot about the music of the spheres and frequencies, which is the new era of humanity, I think. The true healing, true alignment to our highest potential and manifestation of a new reality, individually and collectively, is all about the frequency where our beliefs, our emotions, and our nervous system vibrate at. So this is what a big part, I would say, of my presentation is going to talk about.
Oh, wonderful. Does your gong have a particular frequency, or does it have a variety of frequencies? Is it just the one?
Each gong is vibrating at specific frequencies. We have all the planetary gongs and gongs from different celestial bodies. So yes, each gong has its own frequency, and depending on what you want to achieve every time, you are either using one, or we are also using different combinations and also harnessing even sacred geometry, even the way you position the gong within the room and how you're facing or how you're exposed to that and what kind of triangles, for example, or other sacred geometry patterns are created are really influencing our own quantum field of energy and vibration. So yeah, we have every kind of frequency that could be implemented in a gong. We have all the variety. But for this specific conference, I'm going to bring with me Hiron Gong. For me, it's I don't want to say my favorite one, but I would say this is my loyal co-warrior in all my events where this opening and accessing altered states of consciousness is the goal.
Okay, does that have a particular frequency?
I don't even remember the specific frequency of the
No, that's
Hiron Gong. Yes, it does
okay.
have a specific frequency.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Yes, because you're Greek and you're saying Huron, because kind of we in the ordinary English we say Chiron. So for anyone who was not sure what you're referring to, I'm just saying that's how we say it in the English. So if anyone was wondering or not quite sure, so that's Chiron.
yes,
Yes, that's
yes,
how.
yes.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
same. For us, it's here.
Yes. Yes, well, yes, it's you saying, the wounded healer. So
Yes,
yes, that's how we know it. So again, it's just so people understand
yes,
and appreciate that's something that's quite important at the moment is for all of us to recognize our wounds and to allow them to come to the surface and be released and healed so that we go forward in a healed way because so much of what we're going through this current situation it's not easy at the same time it is about getting rid of what doesn't serve us any longer so we can move through to this clearer better way of functioning here
yes.
in this realm, in this experience, in this physical reality, as we call it. And people use different words. So yes, it's understanding who we are, who we truly are, and
It is.
still functioning in this physical form, in this physical reality. So it's a balance. It's a dance of being, understanding both. So
Oh,
it is the Chiron gong you're going to be bringing, which will be
it
a
will be, yes.
wonderful experience, and the music as well, because there's something very, or not something, I mean, music is very powerful. There's something very special about music, is really what I was, thinking that
Yes,
it
yes.
has a very powerful effect.
It does, and it is part of what we are going to be discussing also. And it's not only about music. I would say that because many times we are all carrying our gongs and our sound balls, our Tibetan balls, our crystal balls, and each one has its own frequency, and each one does something specific. And it's very good to get into the detail and know about all these things and be very conscious at which energies and which frequencies you are exposing yourself. However, at the same time, for people that might think, okay, and how about me that I'm not really an expert or I'm not really interested in getting to know all these things, I would like to always say that the biggest healer in our world is nature itself, right? It's
Mm.
432 hertz. It's the natural sound of planet Gaia. It's the sound of the waves. It's the sound of the birds. It's the sound of the wind. It's also the frequency that is emanated when our left and right hemisphere in our brains are in sync. So this is why when we just go on a nice walk close to nature, our whole existence comes into alignment, and we can heal by attempting to come into resonance with what is natural in our lives and within ourselves. And the second thing that we are going to maybe touching upon during the conference is the importance and the consciousness, especially for the music that we choose to listen to. Not about the frequency only, of course, because most of the music that we listen to is for 40 hertz, and this creates this tension, fear, separation in ourselves and into our existence unconsciously, but very effectively. So we could shift and consciously choose to be exposed to music resonating to 432 hertz. But apart from that, the resonance of the artist, the resonance of the singer, the resonance of the performer, and how are they in the quality of their thoughts or emotions or actions is what impregnates, let's say, the actual outcome, the baby, which is the song or the music that we are listening to. And because, as we know, hearing is the only absolutely feminine sense, we can never block it, unlike any other sense. When we're exposing ourselves to music, we are totally receptive. We are totally feminine, irrespective of our sex. So choosing very consciously who you are around, and not only when you go to a festival or to a seminar or to a music concert, choosing right now, who am I having a nice discussion with? Who is my best friend? Who is my lover? Who is my partner? Who is my business environment, right? Everything that we say and everything that we are expressing is in a way music and affects all of our system.
Yes, which is why these in-person events are so good, so powerful, so important when we're with not just like-minded people, but like-hearted people, people who are in a similar who have similar ideas, similar principles, similar desires for what we want to put out into the world, and so that strengthens. So again, it's lovely having connections and being able, this technology is useful. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. At the same time, the in-person events are another level higher because I say higher, but it's another level because we then get, like you're saying, that energy. We sense everyone else's energy, and it's very nourishing to be in person, to be at these in-person events. So we're very much looking forward to seeing. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you, and I'm sure everyone else will be as well. So I'm looking forward to meeting you because we've not met in person yet. So that'll be fantastic. Is there anything else? Because we don't give it all away. We want people to be inspired, and to understand what this conference is about. It's not just about people speaking, it's about this experience and being all together in the in-person. So have you got sort of a last thought to share with people before we finish this? We're keeping this kind of pretty short, so have you got any thoughts?
Yes, I love, I'm all about unity consciousness as a perspective that's beneath the separatedness or the illusionary separatedness of all phenomena. The underlying truth is that everything is energy, everything is one, everything is interconnected and intertwined and intercreating, let's say, our common reality. And it is true that each one of us has its own energy field. And as we call it also in the quantum physics that is finally catching up, we have also our personal quantum field, which comprises of our own personal stories and experiences and traumas and dramas and potential and dreams and aspirations, yes. But at the same time, the quantum field is this interconnected, let's say, field of consciousness, right? And every time we are changing and we make a shift individually, we are setting a ripple effect into the quantum field. So even when you sit on your own house, on your own desk somewhere and shifting something, healing something, liberating something, you're already affecting humanity in the best possible way. So imagine what's happening when different quantum fields of conscious change makers and creators physically join forces into a space and very consciously create a resonance. this is like creating a tsunami of liberation and of awakening. And there is, for me, from my perspective, no bigger mission or purpose or meaning in anyone's lives than to enhance and co-create our joint reality and bring, as we say, heaven to earth.
That's wonderful. Yes, I think that's perfect way to end this conversation. And there's, yeah, we look forward to seeing you. And yes, we're now well, as we're recording this, we're now 2 months, just slightly over 2 months away. So we look forward to seeing everybody. There are still tickets available, again, depending on when people watch this. So thank you very much again, Loukia, and have a lovely day. Okay.
You too, you too.
Thank you.